What's up, everyone? This is your host, Elijah Bilel from the Side Hustler Society, coming at you with another podcast. In today's episode of the Side Hustler Society podcast, I will actually be interviewing and talking to Dejion, and he's someone I've actually met in person at Bit Summit, a conference for content creators and quote unquote YouTubers to enhance their skills and, of course, make some contacts in the process. Dejion Burkes is an accomplished audio engineer and producer based in Houston, Texas, bringing over 10,000 hours of hands on experience to the table. With a bachelor's degree in applied science, specializing in recording arts, Dejion combines formal education with extensive practical expertise. Recently, he embarked on a new venture, founding his own business to streamline his operations, build business credit, and enhance his professional image. As a panelist, Dejion offers a unique perspective on the intersection of creative arts and business, sharing insights from his journey in the audio engineering and production industry. So, with that bio being read, not only are we going to get into what Dejion does, but the theme of this season is lead generation. So, we will be talking about how he generates leads for his business, some tactics that he would like to share with you as the audience, and some good networking tips for if you're actually going to be going to, I'll say, high ticket paid events like Bit Summit, how you can actually maneuver to get more clients if you have a service to offer people who are in that environment. So let's go ahead and bring them on and let's hit that intro.
Welcome to the Side Hustler Society podcast, the place where you can find out more about the hustles that are best for you. And of course, make more money in the process. Elijah has been in the gig economy and freelance space for over 8 years and has done over 4,000 deliveries on Uber Eats. Has several video editing clients, many properties on Airbnb, runs multiple YouTube channels, and is the author of the best-selling book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. It's his mission to empower people with the tools needed to be successful. Now, welcome your host, the king of the side hustles, Elijah Bilel.
Okay, Dejion, we are recording. We're live. How's your day going so far?
My day has been amazing. Like I said, it's been chill at the beginning, but the last couple hours have been hectic. Just trying to get things situated. Just finished the mix as well in the process. So now I'm just here.
Everyone, if y'all hear a knocking noise, that's my phone. He picked literally right now to text me back. So don't mind that knocking noise if y'all heard that. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with your headset, but that's good to hear. Finally, the weather's turning around. It feels great outside. I really wish I could actually do some jogging after this, but I do have other business to attend to, so it is what it is. But what if it could have felt like this at Bit Summit? Because we originally met at Bit Summit. Imagine if the weather. Well, how is the weather down there in Houston? Is it good?
Right now it's real hot. I do love the heat and the sun though, particularly, but I am kind of ready for that cold times. Definitely ready for that 60 50 weather. We're in September, you'd imagine it's a little bit of a wind chill, but no, Houston, Texas is hot. Just hot constantly. Like it's like 90. Let me see. It's it's 87 now, but the sun is just beaming. It's actually beautiful outside. Let me just say that.
Down here it's 84 now. So I guess it's gotten a little hot, but when I woke up this morning, it's like 72. Then it kind of stayed like in the 70s for a few hours. It's like
it's nice.
Yeah, but we know Texas weather likes to act like a girl in a middle school relationship. So we take what we can get, I suppose.
No, for real.
But yeah, Dejion, so just to get into it, we already know you got this audio engineering thing on lockdown.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about have you incorporated yet, or are you still like in the freelancer stage?
I am in the freelance stage currently. I have some deals in the works for sure to work at set studios, but I am enjoying the freelance benefits, just being able to go anywhere and work and do house calls as well. Pull up to somebody's house, their home studio, or wherever it may be, and just record. Like that's definitely enjoying, but the benefits of signing to a studio would definitely be like the consistent work and sessions and just a place to chill outside of my home studio or the studio that I work out of over here in West Chase District. So it
Okay.
definitely has its pros and cons each side, but currently I'm enjoying the freelance. But I'm open to get signed if the numbers are right, because I have gotten deals where the numbers weren't right, so that's where I've just decided to stick it with freelance for now, until that opportunity presents itself.
You know, that's interesting because that actually brings up a different avenue we can go through. But I said incorporate. I meant like are you a sole proprietorship or do you have like your own LLC in terms of your business?
I am a sole proprietorship,
Okay.
so I have my accounts, but I'm not a corporation, as you
Got
as
you.
you can already understand. Yes, sir.
Okay, got you. And when you talked about potentially signing to a studio, just so everyone is on the same page, including myself,
Mhm.
signing to a studio, would that be essentially a contract or would that be an employee relationship?
I would say it kind of varies because, for example, some labels might only work with a single studio, and so getting signed to a studio would essentially mean being signed to that label. You get what I'm saying? Where
Got you.
I could also just seek employment at a different studio, if per my choice. But I don't know, because with a label you would get more backing, and so there's more benefits in that aspect. But it's just kind of like, what would I really be going for? You know what I'm saying? If I would want all my promotion, marketing, basically brand image taken care of, then I'll be seeking a deal. Or if I'm just seeking, stable, secure working place, then I would just be seeking employment. Hmm.
Got you. So it's a very versatile, moldable skill set where you
Hmm.
can really you can get freelancer like what you're doing.
Hmm.
You can sign to a studio and maybe negotiate so it's independent contracting, or
Yes,
you can potentially find an employee scenario for your skill set. Am I right?
yes, that's correct. Um,
Okay, got you.
and as a producer as well, because I'm also a producer, a musician. I play keys. I've done that for different venues, as well as the sound engineer, doing live sound, setting up, running sound for churches or venues or broadcasts. So
Got
it is very versatile.
you. Okay. So, how does one become an audio engineer? Like, what was your process of getting this skill set and getting started?
Hmm. It started with running into a wall, and then figured out a way to get around that wall, and then meeting another wall. And basically, after trial and error, I found a school that would teach me everything that I would know, and I now see is almost imperative as is someone trying to get into this field, because knowing the basics, you can then build off whatever path you want to. But not knowing the basics, you could easily fall into a box of only doing it this certain way because that's the only way you know how. You know what I'm saying? Or like someone's methods. Because I did at first try YouTube University to learn what I know, but I was just met with different people having their own opinions, and following into like this sort of team of like, this is how we do it, and then um someone else's video would be like, no, don't do this. So then it's like, oh, I don't know what to think, you know what I'm saying? But going to a school, getting the formal education, getting the correct knowledge, as well as getting direct knowledge from my mentors here, because I've met some pretty talented people, to say the least, that have had like 40, 45, 25 years in the game, and to be able to sit with them one on one and discuss like what I'm trying to do and discuss how things work and everything like that. I would say it's priceless for sure. if I had to go through it again, I would definitely choose school. I would actually choose school sooner, just avoid wasting any kind of time.
Okay, so it sounds like these other ways of learning that are a little more unorthodox, less structured. A specialist may be teaching a certain way to do a certain thing, but
Mm-hmm.
you keep going back and forth to different specialists. They have different ways that are kind of conflicting with each other. But when
Mm-hmm.
you went to school, it gave you a more generalized knowledge of the equipment and how to do things. From there, that served as a foundation to where now you can go anywhere. And if they have a specialized way of doing something, you can morph and adapt from there because you have the basics down.
Exactly. I can literally go into any studio and within 2 minutes or less understand the signal flow, understand the process that's being done, and say if there was an issue that studio engineer was to come across and he would be needing to look to someone for some type of assistance, then I could step in and be like, hey, you know, it could be this way, or what I'm saying, just kind of iron sharpens iron, going to any different place and being able to understand what they're saying and translate it and being able to just grow. You know.
Okay. And when you say go to school, I'm assuming you, based on your bio, it's a full bachelor's degree in this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there's not really any like certifications that's roaming around that someone could take. You really need to go to college to really get this.
Oh yes, for sure, for sure. And the program I'm on, I received my diploma and my degree, so got those
Okay,
certifications. Mm.
gotcha. Bringing some balance to the equation because there's a lot of people, and I guess I fall under this category too.
Mhm.
It's like college is a waste of time a lot of times, and that can be true depending on your major and what your outcome is.
Mhm.
But there are situations where, uh, especially when it comes to any kind of technology, going to school could actually be a benefit. And you fall in that category because ultimately what you're doing is I put it in the technology field. Not everything has to be an IT, quote unquote, to be involved in technology. So you'll easily get a return on your investment and be able to pay off those loans, and then you're in the black from there in terms of
Mhm.
profit.
Mhm.
Versus some other people, if you're graduating with a degree in philosophy, now I don't know exactly what that's going to get you.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's promised. Nothing's promised at that point. I can say that.
Right, right. Okay. So yeah, since we're in season 2 of the podcast, the theme of this season is really like lead generation, like how you generating your leads, because leads in for freelancers equals sales,
Ooh.
assuming you can close them. But a lot of people struggle with getting leads nowadays, so that's kind of where we're focusing on. I would
Mhm.
ask you, what is your approach when it comes to like marketing your services in general? Like, I'm sitting down, I need to get some clients. What I do?
I would say kind of analyze yourself, analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, and come up with a solid cover letter or an elevator pitch that once you have, you could really you could find people. I find a lot of clients on social media, whether it be Instagram, X, or Threads. I know Threads, people are constantly posting needing services such as what I do, and once I find those people, I pitch I hit I deploy my cover letter, and that, as you see in my bio, is some of that material which will be impressive to a client needing professional services, you know what I'm saying, or elevator pitching. Whereas you remember at Vid Summit, when I had met you, we was instantly able to connect because I I uh, I approached you, excuse me, extending what I do and pretty much about me. So just in those first 45 seconds, you already knew, okay, this guy's an engineer, and I know where to go if services are needed for audio. You know what I'm saying? And we exchange contacts. Having the contact card with all your social media links, your bios, your email, all that is very it may sound like small things, but when you meet someone in person and y'all get to connecting and you're just like, hey, let me shoot you my contact card. that eliminates them needing any more contact information from you because they have all that information within the contact card. So from there, it's just to reconnect and work. Honestly,
Right.
that's
I'm reaching back because, oh man, I actually think it's in my car. I'll put it. No, it's not. It's right here. The reason I don't know where it is, I recently moved and I rearranged like my books on the bookshelf. So where it used to be, it's not there anymore. So people were watching, like, don't tag me in the comments, like, Elijah, when you pull a book off the shelf, it usually takes you like 2 seconds. What's up? Yeah, but this book, Click by George Fraser. He talks a lot, and I've actually had the opportunity to meet him in person. He talks a lot about networking. He's basically the guru of networking in a lot of ways. And one thing he really brings up is when you talk to someone, you need to have a 30 to 60-second pitch on what you do in a very concise way that they can understand. And if you can't do that, you need to lock yourself in a room until you can do that, because they're not going to remember probably unless they have that information. Then from there, the conversation can go. Then they'll associate everything else you said afterwards with whatever your profession is. A lot of people, they wait to get into their profession, excuse me, later in the conversation when whatever y'all talked about first is going to be what they associate you with. So they're not even going to really remember that part. And even if they do, that's not going to be at the top of their memory.
Right. 100%. I say the first impression is the most important,
Yeah.
Definitely. So, like you said, definitely have that information. And that's why I encourage just analyzing, what I'm saying, exactly what it is that you would want someone to know if they needed a service that you provide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that. Like I said, the cover letter, resume is good as well. You could post that on different sites such as Glassdoor, Indeed. I even see on Reddit people post their resumes.
Reddit?
I'll get on Reddit. I mean, it's really everywhere, man. You just kind of have to like put your profile, your business profile together, and then just shoot. And another thing is that it's entirely a numbers game. Like,
of course,
I'll get up probably 100 people, 100 artists, 100 bands, 100 filmmakers needing audio, and for that week I'll probably get like 15, or 17, just somewhere in that range, because a lot of people think that if I knock on this door right here and they say no, then everybody else is going to say no. You know what I'm saying? Or they let that first no be the last one instead of letting that first yes, or excuse me, instead of letting the no's like not really phase you, because people are different. Like if I approached you at Vid Summit and you were just not interested in talking, I couldn't let that get me down. Me being a person that is interested to connect and network, and me a person that's interested in getting my name, myself, and my brand out there. Like, I really have to have the mindset of, okay, I have to plant my profile, and all these people, even if a small percentage goes through, that's how the game works. Like, honestly, it's 100 losses, 10 wins. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, can't let the word no phase you. If you're going to be in any kind of sales, and if you're going to be a freelancer or in business, don't fool yourself. You're going to be in sales unless you have a business partner that does the sales part for you, and you're going to just be the administrative part. You're going to be in sales, and sales is always a numbers game. And once you really refine your craft, I'm not going to get heavy into sales because I've done a podcast on it already, and then I'll be revisiting it later in this season. But I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Most of the time, if you get a no, provided you refine your sales skills, it really is just the timing. The timing's not right. So that allows you to not take it personally when you get the no, because it's just the timing in most cases. Or if they don't have the money. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's also that. Now, that's one thing we could talk about at some point in terms of lead generation. There's low hanging fruit, then there's people with budgets. Once you've done enough prospecting, you'll get a feel for which one is the case. So maybe start leaving the low hanging fruit alone, and that'll increase your percentage too.
oh
But
yeah.
initially, you need as much practice as you can get, so you should be prospecting as many people as you can.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. And even when you have downtime after you've either sent your leads or after you have worked with somebody or you have downtime, I would say always keep working to improve.
Yeah.
Just because it would suck if say I hit up 100 people, or I hit up 100 labels, and 5 of them wanted to do albums, and I haven't got no practice in, and I'm only having my mind towards the money and not in perfecting my skills, my craft, and progressing as an engineer. Then I'm really full. I'm cheating myself out of some great work just because I'm just seeking the profit. In this business that I'm in, of course, money rules everything, but uh, my focus is becoming the best that I can be, and so I put that first. And I would say me reaching out to leads and doing all that. My mindset is to kind of put that secondary to progression, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
Mhm.
speaking of leads, so do you have a way of when someone says no? Do you have any source of following up with them, maybe 30 days or like 2 or 3 months out, or is it more like you go ahead and leave that person alone and focus on getting new leads? Like, do you have a cultivation strategy if you do hear no, or are you more focused towards hey getting more leads and going through the yeses and the nos and focusing on the yeses?
I would say after I hit a lead up and it's a no, I would kind of put them on like you say, a 30-day buffer, and but keep searching and keep constantly connecting with new people. And you can set even a calendar schedule reminder to be like, hey, hit this person up again, follow up again, or you can automate emails with a service such as MailChimp,
Mm-hmm.
and just hit them up again. Hey, you know um I'd like to work with you in a nutshell. Just keeping that connection, so even if they said no that one time, they're still constantly getting reminded every month or so, to where eventually that no will turn into a yes. And like you said, the timing could just be off at that time that you originally initially asked them, so, or they couldn't have had the funds possibly to work. So say a month go by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by, who's to say that they're not in a better situation or feel like striking a deal? And that's where you hit gold, honestly. But
Right.
still constantly making new leads, and you just build up your client base from there. It's
Yeah,
just numbers.
I call it this, man. This is something that a lot of salespeople, and even when I say salespeople, I know some of y'all thinking, hey, you're talking about rookies, but even some of the intermediate and maybe even low level of advanced people in sales ignore this part. But I say this: don't be a networking one night stand.
Mm,
I mean, once you leave a person alone, like they may actually be interested in your service, but they don't have the money or the timing isn't right, and they may have been interested in your service, but then you didn't maintain that relationship, especially if there is a relationship there. Let's just say if you're reaching out to someone in email, don't get a response, like that's one thing. But if
mm,
you actually met the person and y'all have somewhat of an associateship, and then you just kind of leave them alone, they may actually think of you later in your services, but then they also remember they haven't heard from you in like 3 or 4 months. So are they going to be the one to reach out? There's like a maybe a 10% chance they will, but probably not. But
Slim
if you've
chance.
maintained that relationship,
Mm,
they might reach out to you, or when you reach out, they'll be more receptive to working with you. So don't be a networking one night stand.
mm, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah. So when it comes to like we talked about like your services to a certain degree. Can you give some examples of like what clients will want from you? Like what kind of services are they ordering from you as an audio engineer?
So as far as in-person services, I offer exclusive studio sessions at a private studio here in Houston, and I have another location in Dallas where artists, bands, even actors needing to do ADR, post production, and analog mixing, in-house mixing, where the artist or band may want to come in and watch me mix on the console or mix their record, to then offer more of creative direction. Although I do keep in touch to ensure that those are the main services I offer in person, but I also provide remote services such as mixing, track outs, and 2-track mixes via. I use WeTransfer, also use Google Dropbox, and they can have their songs mixed remotely by sending me in their files, and then I could do my thing and get it back to them. And I also offer services in post production for films, TV, and video games, as well as sound design. So if they need anything audio in a nutshell, mainly professional audio cleanup for music, vocal tuning, um, mixing, mastering, um, sound design, like I had mentioned, 5.1 mixing, as well as as far as remote. Oh, I also do board prints, so I'll print a song of their choice through this SSL console board, which
Okay.
which adds analog warmth and saturation to the song, and just overall glues it together. Um, this board in particular is a SSL G4000 console. And it's actually a custom build, merging the G series and the E series together in one with a total of 72 channels for analog mixing. And those are my services that I provide as far as studio work, remote and in-house. And I also mentioned I do house calls as well. So I will pull up and mix, record, master, um, tune, do anything as far as that side of audio. But I also do live sound mixing. So whether that be in a church, in a venue, concerts, as you know, or podcasts as well, um, and meetings, corporate meetings, and things like that. So really, to me, I say anything audio, like anything. Honestly, in my email, we can discuss it.
So that includes audiobooks too.
That includes audiobooks as well. I forgot to mention that, but yes, sir, that includes audiobooks, spoken word, poem.
I didn't know you had a spot in Dallas too. When
Mhm.
when I write the next book in the Anatomy of Financial Success series, and I do the audiobook, yeah, we might have to talk because
Okay. Sure.
when the first book came out, it came out right before the pandemic. Then the
Mm.
audiobook came out like 6 or 7 months later, and I was real big on. I knew my audience wasn't going to accept anyone but me doing it, since I'm on YouTube. They're used to hearing my voice, so
Mhm.
hiring someone to do it was going to be out of the question.
Mhm.
So I was going to actually just rent a studio and work with a sound engineer to go ahead and get that knocked out. But as you can imagine, during the pandemic, yeah, that wasn't an option. So I took a course online on how to soundproof a room, and set up like the mattress and like put like just basically soundproofed it and
Yeah.
narrated it with the. I'm not gonna move it because I don't want it to come out, but the Blue Yeti mic with the whatever that thing is called, the filter, the puff filter,
Yes, sir.
puff filter, and it came out pretty good. But honestly, my original plan was to have someone do this stuff for me.
Mhm.
And I could just go in the studio, just focus on performing. The sound engineer could tell me like, "Yo, do this or do that, etc." Then they could mix it. So I kind of don't like the fact that I didn't have that experience.
It's definitely experience. It's
Yeah,
definitely experience. And like you said, you wanted to just come in and perform. I'm heavy on that aspect as we all have different roles. And for one person trying to do that as well as record yourself and track yourself, it's kind of different. It's kind of different and difficult because you're listening to it and you're like, did it sound right? And then you're like, well, hold on, I need to get back in position. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of back and forth. So I would definitely say it's an experience of just being in the space and working how it was originally performed. You understand what I'm saying? Like with an engineer and with the talent. So that's definitely something that I'd love to work. I'd love to collaborate with you on to take care of
yeah.
that.
We'll definitely have to talk. I don't know when that book's coming out, so uh, I'm gonna claim the 5th. If anyone's like, Elijah, you just admitted you're about to write another book. When's it coming out? I'll let y'all know, but I'm not putting the date out there. Okay.
Mhm.
Please, patience, please. um, I also say since it looks like, are you in Dallas? Like, I won't say pretty often, but somewhat often.
Somewhat
Uh,
often, between somewhat often and pretty often, I would say.
okay. I
Mhm.
don't think I told you about the veggie outers. Did I tell you about the veggie outers?
Veggie outers. You mentioned that y'all were a vegan group.
Yeah, we essentially go to vegan restaurants and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10,
Mm.
based on the food, the customer service, all that good stuff. So yeah, next time you're in town, let me know if you happen to be in town when we have a meetup. Feel free to come out,
Oh, I
and then
love
you can also see what Dallas has to offer in terms of vegan restaurants. Now,
it.
Houston's better. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to Houston. Y'all got a buttload of vegan
Yeah,
restaurants.
we got some good spots, man. Some very
Yeah,
good spots.
but we're coming up too. We're coming up. Maybe one day we'll be able to rob y'all. Even though yeah, Houston's like 4 times the size of Dallas, that's probably not gonna happen. But still,
Hey, man, where there's a will, there's a way, for sure.
right? But yeah, swinging back on topic. So, do you do anything in particular with your pricing to remain competitive in this industry?
Let me think about that for a moment.
Okay. So, one thing about price, if you network hard, like the harder you network, the less price actually matters in terms of
That,
okay, I have
that
to do
that's
this in
what
order to yeah.
I'm trying to come up with like a big answer for you, but essentially, I don't really think about pricing too much. I mean, I know that when I was originally considering pricing, because of course you start out for free and you gather experience and you get gigs and you don't just start trying to charge people. Um, I kind of just looked around at what all the prices were, um, and as well as giving their work and just kind of average it up with what I feel like the quality of my work brings and my work ethic. And so that's how I was able to develop a fair price for my services
Okay.
in a nutshell.
All right. And speaking of when you got started, what do you feel was the biggest challenge when you first got started and you started offering your services?
The biggest challenge was not having the experience as some of my mentors who've had about 40 years under their belt. So just
Right.
bumping my head with nuances in the recording, in the mixing, and in the mastering, primarily in the recording, because that's something that I feel like you could do that without going to school, but it will be on a limited plane, such as you just know that this cable goes into the microphone and you know how the DAW works in sense of just being able to press record and moving tracks down. But going to school kind of widens that scope to where I understand almost everything that's going on during the recording process, and I'm able to maneuver and cut out certain things and modify the chain, um, basically for whatever I need to, whatever the circumstance may be, as far as when I was getting started, I would definitely say the recording process was it was a little of a learning curve because you have to be fast, you have to be communicative, and you have to be prepared for sure. You have to be prepared. And one thing that I know that I do is in my mixing, or excuse me, in my tracking sessions, I'll also do a light mix, a basic mix to kind of give the artist an idea or a sense of direction that corresponds with what they hear in their head. You know what I'm saying? Because someone can have an idea for this nice lush soundscape of a song, given it be R&B, pop, rap, whatever the genre. But when they just record it just straight dry and they just hear the raw vocals, for most people, they get turned off by that. They don't like hearing that, and then they'll want to keep redoing the take and redoing the take and redoing the take, and then eventually eat up time.
Yeah.
And I don't like to waste their time. So I just kind of developed the process of mixing it, doing essentially creating a preset before they arrive and doing the mix during the session just to ensure that it's sounding good to them so I can get the best possible performance from them. And that also kind of crosses over into producer, but yeah, that's essentially how I like to work. I like the artists to understand that when they come in here, I can do anything that they want to do. And with them understanding that, that kind of builds their confidence up to really just, give all the energy needed for the track and give the best performance.
Gotcha.
Knowing different things like that. Definitely, I would say keeping the artist's confidence, because if they go in there, like I say, and they just sound like in saying you didn't do the auto tune right, or it's no reverb, or it's too much reverb, or just the EQ isn't set right, or how things are panned didn't set right, it's gonna throw somebody off. But I do know a small hand of very experienced clients I've worked with. They could kind of just imagine that it's sounding like that already. To just draw that performance out, but knowing what you're doing as an engineer in the chair is definitely an upper hand to know how to dial in that sound for them as they're tracking to get the best possible performance.
So you're an honorable audio engineer, I would say. I say that because listeners know that I had one of my associates, Kendrick, on the podcast, and he's a rapper. And he told some stories on here about how, now he has his own studio set up in his home now, but he didn't have that always set up. But a big motivation for him doing that is when he would go to studios, some of them will be trying to run some game, like, hey, they'd always want to take a smoke break, or they would always want to get something to eat, or and he's like, oh, I see what's going on. So y'all trying to extend the session, so y'all gonna make some money. So that's why I just started doing it myself. Yeah. But he also said that he sees why they do it, because some studios he'll go in and he has his lyrics written down and the beats are already done. So he just gets in there, knocks out several songs, and then the person's like,
those sessions.
Yes, the person's like, yo, you're like one of the dopest people I've ever seen come in here. You came in and knocked all these songs out, and they may actually play Business Cupid and hook them up with a more popular artist because they know they're the real thing. But a lot of people come in there, they don't have their songs written, they don't have nothing. It's just this come in there, and then they do all that, and it's
they want to freestyle off the top, and I'm like, yo, that's cool. That's cool. That's very cool. But imagine if you actually wrote a song, had it well produced together. And as a producer, I can aid in that composition and arrangement, and just come with it. Also rehearse. Please rehearse. So when you come in,
you mentioned that too.
All I do is press forward, and we're making magic. So we're not, because I still have to do gain staging. That's a process in and of itself. When the talent comes in, and they're hopping on the mic and making sure the levels aren't too hot or too quiet, making sure they're nice and healthy.
Right.
And so,
yes.
I apologize, but someone that might be coming in trying to freestyle, it makes it harder to dial in those things, and then they're kind of ready to just, okay, let's record now, and then I might be dialing it in, and then they'll be like, no, run that back, and then they might switch up the volume of performance because there was no pre-production in the first place. They're just kind of playing it all by ear, which, like I said, is cool, but I do appreciate when those that come in with everything squared away.
The way Kendrick told me and told the audience on there, he's like, look, a lot of people come in like that, like you mentioned, and then the guy running the studio just kind of sees, these are just a couple of chumps I'm just gonna make some money off of. So versus if someone comes in with their, for lack of a better word, their shit together, it's like, wow, this person's about it. Like, it makes a pretty good impression to where maybe like, well, why don't you talk about this? You may have had some clients that they may give you a call and like, you don't want to work with them again. Like, I think I'm good. Am I right?
I can't speak on that. I can't speak.
If the price is right, we can still talk, huh?
I mean, I one thing I like to do as a producer with my producer hat is aid in the development of an artist. So like, I'm not the type that if they came in and just freestyled it all, and then I'm just telling them, oh yeah, man, it sounds crazy, bro, and just like basically faking it to just get paid. I don't like that, because I didn't like that witnessing that, being in the studio, and the engineer I might notice the engineers being that type of way, and that kind of turned me off from wanting to work with them again, because I know he's just faking it. So one thing I like to do is just aid in the development of an artist. Say after the whole session, if they're not satisfied with it, I'll be like, hey, I understand your concern with the song. One thing that I feel like could improve your overall game as far as a musician is just work on that pre-production and developing. That's the cover page of a deeper conversation that if they are interested in diving into, I'm more than happy to assist, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's kind of a decent tie-in into this. What would you say is your biggest source of like online leads, and how did you come to find this out? Like, you did mention that social media is definitely one of them, right? Would you say that that's the biggest source of leads that you receive online? It's usually social media.
Yes, that is true. As far as online, because like I said, I usually
strictly online right now. Yeah.
Strictly online, yes, I would say social media different, because there's a lot of different platforms, even Reddit, Facebook, and there's this other one, Fiverr. I don't know if that's considered social media, but I use that as well. And
it's not. It'll be considered a freelancing platform.
That's true. So social media and freelancing platforms. But currently, I would say my social media is my primary source of leads. But like I had mentioned in our last panel, I'm interested in getting a website made. Please, anybody that's listening, I need a website, and I have very specific needs, and I will pay fairly.
Well, you want to elaborate on those needs if someone is listening, maybe I'll link your Instagram, so maybe they could be someone to help you with that. What needs do you need from a website?
Essentially, I need my website, because I'm not looking for just like a Shopify based website where it's just click on the bio and then go ahead and book, or like click on the link and go ahead and just book and that's it. No, I'm more interested in having like my bio information about me, pages where they can check out work that I've done, pages where they can see reviews from other people I've collaborated with,
testimony,
photo galleries, video galleries, you know what I'm saying? Just overall Sounds by Dejion, which is going to be the title of the site. That's the hub right there. That's the storefront. That's essentially what I'm looking for in my website, because I want that to be the end all be all link. So just
Okay.
that everywhere and have that supersede my social media and freelancing platforms.
Okay.
Mm.
I've heard some pretty bad stories about Fiverr. Kind of know as the anti-Fiverr person, to be honest, at least as a freelancer. So, how's your experience been? Now, you said it's like a small portion. I'm glad to hear that. More of your leads are coming from social media right now. But
Mm-hmm.
what's been your experience as a freelancer working with Fiverr?
Excuse me. On Fiverr, a lot of the work is cut and done. Not to my liking though. I would like it to be more on like a personal kind of connection. Not personal, but more personal compared to just like, okay, I sent you the money, I sent you the files, mix it. I like to discuss what is actually the vision is that you would have in mind. Because if you just give it to me and I do my thing, yeah, we all might like it, but is that what you want? Is that the vision that you have for your song when you created this song? You know what I'm saying? I like to match the intentions and the concept with the artist's intentions and the concept. And then
Right, and that's not possible on Fiverr. Oh,
um
go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's what I really classify as a collaboration. And replying to your question, I don't find it as often on Fiverr. It's usually just people just looking for, you know, that
Right.
issue with that. Mhm.
Okay. Plus, I know with Fiverr, like if you're trying to take that relationship off the platform, they'll threaten to kick you off. So it's like,
Mhm.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Well, kind of swinging. Actually, this is a yeah. I guess we'll go to the opposite extreme, and I'll ask you, what's your biggest source of offline leads, and how did you come to find that out? So not online, but offline.
My biggest source of offline leads, probably, I, I couldn't really say. It's just majority just out and about, like being out and about, meeting people. Um, it could be from a corporate seminar to um a strip street, with bars and clubs, and I might run into an artist and then give him my elevator pitch, and then strike a deal, or at least strike a lead that I can later on follow up with a cover letter, um just kind of reinforcing what it is that I do and the professionalism and quality that I bring to the table, or that I feel like I can offer, as well as the studio here, because it's not only a private studio, but it's also a school.
Oh,
And so, meeting people here, meeting people, different artists, meeting different engineers, or excuse me, different producers, different engineers to collaborate with, and just overall build my portfolio and catalog. So then for my discography, I then have all these collaborations, all these projects, you know what I'm saying, to review and just overall like listen to, when considering collaboration,
hmm
as well as the Dallas location is also a school as well, so that is a bigger um
and when you
bigger
say school, you're saying like college, just so everyone knows.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, college. Excuse me, it's pretty much a bigger fish tank to source not even only artists, engineer, producers, or bands, but also like media people come through, videographers. That's how I'm able to connect with videographers
hmm
at the moment, photographers, of course, editors, visual effects editors, stage hands. Oh, also there's this one gig that I like to work out of. It's called Generations AV, where I'm a stagehand,
Okay.
and basically going into different venues and setting up stages in the daytime and at nighttime. It's a either or thing, but at nighttime I could also tear down the stage. And I'm working with a group of like 100 to 150 people, where I can network within that group, to generate uh,
Generate.
communication. Yeah, to generate communication and leads. and just find out about more of the people that's around me locally, but I haven't met yet. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. But y'all are in, I like to call parallel industries where like there are several people that need an end result that will hire you and then this person and this person and this person. But y'all aren't competitors, but y'all are still gonna always be in the same room.
yes.
So with that being the case, okay, well how about we actually talk to each other and there's several people like our client. So if I meet someone else that I'm going to be doing services for, I'll recommend this service to them, and you're the conduit for that, and vice versa. So it's kind of like a networking group, maybe not officially a networking group, but that's the concept.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like a photographer is going to be in the same room as a sound engineer like yourself, and they're going to be in the same room as a videographer, and a lot of things can naturally take place provided you're willing to open your mouth, network, and you also give and receive.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's you didn't bring it up, but I imagine Vid Summit was a good source of offline leads. Am I right?
Oh yes, Vid Summit was a great source of offline leads. I met a lot of cool people, not only as collaborating on projects, but also just cool people in general. There's a lot of different people with a specific niche or a general passion that I was able to connect with, parallel, so to speak,
Right.
in their endeavors and what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm.
Right. Kind of going off for a little. What did you think about that panel that we were able to do a few weeks ago?
I love the panel, man. It felt good. It was a good recap of Vid Summit, and I saw some familiar faces that I was able to reconnect with. And the questions were good, and the content was good. The energy was good with G Wiz and Kelly, and I want to say her name wrong. Was it uh, Ela? Yella?
Yuli?
Yuli, excuse me. I
Yeah.
apologize to Yuli if you're listening right now. But yes, those are all cool people to meet, and parallel things to see, different passions from different people, different perspectives on the whole Vid Summit. Because I know my perspective was just my perspective, but hearing the people's different perspectives was definitely interesting.
You think of that after party when you said that, the way you were smiling, like I
Oh
think.
man, no, I really want to forget about the after party. If possible, I could just erase that it even existed because anything too appealing.
Okay. For everyone, there's going to be a link to what we're talking about in the description. It was actually the last podcast of season 1. So yeah, if you're a content creator interested in taking I'll just say content creation to the next level, VidSummit is definitely something that you'll definitely want to attend, go to. If anything, strictly for the networking, because it's a powerful networking tool.
Yes.
Yeah. But swinging back to on topic, my audience will chop my head off if I don't ask you this. They want this information from anyone I bring on the podcast, but they want to know about the Benjamins. So you could say it could be weekly or monthly, but around how much would you say you make on average a week or a month in your chosen profession?
Okay, since you go put me on the spot like that, you say it's something I have to answer.
The audience is putting me on the spot to ask it.
I would just say weekly. Weekly doing in-house sessions, mixing and mastering. I would say that brings in about 800 a week. 800 a week. But I would say I'm pretty living pretty comfortably, so to speak, doing what I'm doing. Of course, there are trials and tribulations, but with the mindset to just keep breaking through the wall, keep climbing a new mountain, I'm able to kind of stay at a good balance.
Right. And how long have you been doing this again?
I've been doing this for about a year and a half, almost 2 now.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're transitioning into the intermediate category, but you're still relatively young in your audio engineer career. So
Yes, sir.
that's pretty good. So I know audio engineers, once they're established, they can make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's definitely a very lucrative business. But I do know, on the other hand of that, a lot of people kind of fuck up the market for lack of better words, just overcharging people and trying to run up hours and giving engineers a bad taste in people's mouths.
Like some of the people that Kendrick was talking about doing his podcast.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's funny because him saying that, I feel like I know the guy, but I don't know the guy. It's just another like douche. Excuse my language, but another bad guy.
Got you. Okay. So this kind of goes back to the lead generation too, but have you thought about, well, you might have it, I don't know, but have you thought about maybe implementing a referral program in the future? Not
yes.
really.
Yes. Yes. I have somewhat of that right now, where if you recommend somebody and they book a session and they, then vouch, somewhat of a vouching system of like, this is who recommended me, and that person is also reaching out to me, then I offer currently at the moment $50 off next service.
Okay.
So something small, but definitely want to develop that strategy, because this is a good strategy, honestly, to meet more people.
Yeah, it's a way of passive leads, people that are passive warm leads too, because there's nothing warmer lead wise than someone who's referring you, so that's the warmest lead you could hope to receive. And if you didn't have to put any work to get that lead, that's the best position you can be in. And a referral program automatically does that for you.
Yeah. It's definitely a good one.
And what you well, I guess it's different in this case, but for some people who have referral programs where they give some kind of compensation to the people who are giving them leads, you could write that off. Like if you're literally paying them like $25 or something like that, it is tax deductible. So that's something you'll want to remember, audience. I'm not an enrolled agent. I mean, if you want tax advice, go back to the show I did with Kamari Ellis. He's a enrolled agent. So just putting that out there so people don't start saying stuff. But but we can go ahead and start winding the show down. But I always ask the people who are on my show if they have any questions they want to hit me up with, whether it be about really anything. So do you have any questions you want to hit me up with?
You asking me if I have any questions?
Yeah.
On average, how much does your business bring in?
Which one?
The podcast.
It's kind of hard to measure because the podcast doesn't make money directly. It's a conduit for my other businesses. So taking that into the account, the podcast talks about the book. It pushes people to Financial Anatomy. It pushes people to the YouTube channel. So with that in consideration, and this is a guess, I would say that it would be between 1,500 and 2,000, strictly just from the podcast.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. In fact, that's one thing we're working on this year is actually, I feel like the podcast is under monetized right now. I think that we should be getting sponsorships. There are some digital products I'm working on, like we're talking about leads right now. There's some spreadsheets that can be put together that will help people keep track of their leads. What category are they? Cold leads? Are they warm leads? Offline leads? Are they online leads? That way, you can build a database while categorizing them right, because a different approach is needed for where they are in the cycle. If they're ice cold, we're not going to approach them the same way as someone who's a warm lead that just got referred by a friend. Different approach. So I feel like the podcast is under monetized, to be honest. So that's why this year we're really looking at introducing more things that can really help people break into the freelance market and start making at the very least high 5 figures, low 6 figures.
Well, that's great, man. That's good to hear. That's inspiring on a parallel scale to incorporate more. incorporate more streams of income, and develop those streams of income.
Yeah. And then I recommend this for everyone. But I might be getting off into a tangent. One thing I can't stand these soy boys that they live their whole life online and they don't do anything locally, anything offline. It's like what I did when I started making money online. It was funneled into businesses that I could run offline, like the real estate and the Airbnb stuff. And I just don't want to be one of those people that they literally live online. You're gonna see me making moves locally, always. So for people that are making money online, think of what that conduit would be for you to make money offline. And that's why I'm a big proponent of getting a trader skill like you have. Like in my case, I'm a video editor, so that's the trader skill I have to fall back on. Let's say if all this shit disappears tomorrow. At the end of the day, I have a skill set that I've used to make high five figures before, and I can go back to doing that to quote unquote start over. So yeah, that's why I recommend that people get a trader skill that serves as a foundation, and make sure it's a higher paying skill. And from there, you can really go wherever you need to go, especially if you live in the South like us, where like between 75,000 and 100,000 actually can take you places. Now, if you're in New York making that's the same as making like 40,000. That ain't gonna do shit. I'm sorry.
It's gonna get ate up for the end of the week. Business or the cost of living, I should say, is definitely different. But go back to what you were saying on making money offline. That's definitely the because right now, I have my social media, I have my website, or excuse me, I'm in the pre-production / planning for my website. But I ideally want to eventually transition over to just offline private work, still making commercial figures, but more so private engineer, like just no social presence for real, just working with people that I really resonate with and connect with for sure.
I actually see an opportunity for you online if you want to go that direction. I think that there's a certain level of audio setting templates or teaching people how to set templates up. It could be lucrative for you because that's something that only a sound engineer could do.
That's true.
That could be a source of passive income for you.
That's true. I have looked into a business model such as that, and I could say something like that. I'm still in the pre-production planning for that because I would not like to roll it out and it's just kind of the same as everybody else does it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. So we actually have started going in that direction, but where can people find you if they want more of you, or if they want to reach out and potentially get some work done?
If you want to reach out, you can find me on Instagram at Sounds by Dejion. My handle's in the overlay, as well as my direct email is soundsbydejion@gmail.com. And from there, I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you.
That brings us to the end of this podcast episode, everyone. I think it was great. A lot of y'all learned about the sound or audio engineering game and a lot about generating leads, which is critical because if you don't have any leads, once you have your trader skill, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to be making money. That literally is the first step. But if you enjoyed today's episode and you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Very much appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And if you're watching us on another platform, then please leave us a review. Tell us how we can better serve you. That'd be greatly appreciated. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end it here. Be safe and be profitable, everyone. And stay tuned for the next episode.
Peace, y'all.
This episode may be over, but your hustling journey has just started. Visit thesidehustlersociety.com to access all links and resources mentioned in the show that will help you on your hustler's journey.